Hi, it's Vex, and today we want to go back in time and revisit our good friend Queen Marchesa. That's right, we've had this deck for about a year. This deck's been super fun. There's not major changes or any changes I really want to make with it. Yeah, this is actually my first deck tech I had in this channel. It was when I had my old setup, my little pallet wood setup. I just took some piece of pallet wood, screwed it on, made a camera mount holder, and it was great. We've upgraded a little bit since then. I made another camera holder that can move around back and forth easily here, side to side, pretty easily. Right there, so it's pretty fun. I got some new lights, new microphones, so you don't have to hear me tap on cards to explode your eardrums. So yeah, lots of things have changed, but this deck has not. And the reason is I just like the deck the way it is. There have been new cards, possibly more powerful cards, but the deck has been very good to me. I love playing Marchesa. I had the original deck tech here if you want to look at it. But we can read Marchesa real quick. It's one in the Mardu colors, red, white, black. So it's really good. It's not super powerful because it's not in green or blue. Two most powerful colors in Magic, right? Depth Touch hates, which is really cool. And with ETBs, you become the Monarch. So it's really cool. Don't forget your tokens. Again, I like to mention that don't forget all your tokens. I have lots of tokens and got a little Monarch token here. So you become the Monarch. And what the Monarch does is, real quick, at the beginning of your end step, draw a card. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, its controller becomes the Monarch. So only one Monarch at a time. So at the beginning of your upkeep, if the opponent is the Monarch, put 1/1 black assassin creature token with Death Touch and haste onto the battlefield. So that's this little guy right there. One. So if you're not the Monarch, you get a little dude. If you are the Monarch, you get the Monarch token. So this is our Queen Marchesa deck. And yeah, this deck is super good. Actually, it's one of my favorite decks I've had during the past year because it's not too powerful. It's got a little flavor. It's got knights in it. Obviously, these knights aren't like Monarch synergy knights, but it's pretty fun to have knights. Got a bunch of knights from Eldraine, Ember Shieldbreaker. I call it the Soul Ring Killer. And yes, I have killed a turn 1 Soul Ring with the battle display, destroy target artifact. It's great. So yeah, a bunch of knight synergies here. It's got a little reanimation synergy. So I'll just briefly talk about the deck. But the reason this doesn't need any changes is because it's just a good deck. Sometimes you don't need to change your deck, upgrade your deck to the newest technology, make it constantly better. I think sometimes decks get frozen in time and they're just good the way they are, and this is one of them. I do want to make a couple tweaks though, and those couple tweaks are because of these cards in the back. These 3 cards here. These are the 3 reserve list cards in my deck. And when I built this deck, I did it before I started the channel. These were beginning of 2020 when the reserve list was really, really low. No one really wanted these cards. And I was like, okay, this plateau was like, $70, less than that. These are like $100 a piece, super cheap. Now they're like, I don't even know how much they are, like 400, 300, who knows. Got some dual lands in there, add them to the deck. The reason I add these to the decks because it was Mardu colors. Usually I don't add the original dual lands to any decks because I don't really need them. But Mardu doesn't have cultivates or Kadama's reaches and stuff. So I wanted to have a little better color fixing because I always want to play Marchesa on turn 3 if possible with a mana rock. However, as the time went on, the economy, inflation, everything, these became really expensive. I've decided, hey, I'm going to cut reserve list cards from all my deck techs, unless it's a baller deck or a CEDH deck, which I haven't done yet. But I do have 2 CEDH decks, which I will do deck tech on one of these days. But yeah, I decided to take these out. Don't build decks with these because you know what? A lot of people are like complaining, which I'll probably do another video. It's like, oh my god, I don't have reserve list cards. My decks suck compared to people who do. I'm like, that's not true. You don't really need reserve list cards. I know Guy's Cradle is almost impossible to replace because it's such a good card, but you just really don't need that card for your deck to function. It does add power level to the card, but again, you just don't need these types of cards. This deck will function on these type of cards. So I'm just going to remove these cards. Right, they're just gonna go away, and then I'm just gonna replace them with, comparable lands. Right here, these are the mono double face cards from Zendikar Rising and Kaldheim. Right. This replaces the Scrubland, Bright Climb Pathway, Grim Climb Pathway. The Plateau gets replaced by Needle Verge Pathway and Pillar Verge Pathway right here. And then the Badlands gets replaced by Blightstaff Pathway and Sear Step Pathway. So they're getting replaced. The deck isn't as, obviously it's not as powerful with the original dual lands, because the original dual lands have, the ability to come in and play untapped, etc., provide both colors and mana, fixing. It's great with other check lands and stuff, which are in the deck. But these replacements aren't that bad, and the cost is insane. These are only a couple bucks. These are a couple $100, so you can see the cost difference. So gotta take these out. These will go back to the vault. Not gonna be used, just kept around, chilling like a villain. I really don't have plans of these. Maybe my legacy decks will contain them, but yep, they're going back to the vault. I don't have a full art one of these, but I do want to get one just to match these two. I know it looks kind of weird where you have like two full arts and one like kind of like regular. So these are going back to the vault. Another minor change that I've noticed with this deck, it's not that big of a change, is Tournament Grounds. This deck, it's okay. The deck is color intensive sometimes, and sometimes you need to cast a spell like Swords of Plowshares, but all you have is Tournament Grounds, which you can't do it because you add one colors in general, but you add the Mardu colors. Spend this mana only to cast night or equipment spells. I find it a little awkward. So this is leaving. So it's not a big change. So we're going to downgrade by losing these 3 dual lands. We're going to upgrade a little bit, or side grade, I guess, with the new Commander Legends Spectator seeding. So I'll do a little upgrading. Not upgrading, side grading. I'm not sure. But, again, we're keeping the base of the deck intact, which we'll go through after these little quick changes. We do have Luxury Suite and what's the other one called? Where is it? Luxury Suite and what's the black? And we don't actually have the. Oh man, we need the other one. The black and white one. Okay. I wasn't prepared for this. I was only prepared for this one swap. But you know what? Screw it. We're not making that change. We're just gonna keep it the way it is. We're out of the black and white one a year from now. The Champions Hall Vault Champion. I forgot which one it was. Yeah, so we're doing these here. We do have Luxury Suite in there, so keep that in there. Another thing we're going to change is not this mountain here, but these 2 cards. I've noticed the lack of board wipes. This has been around forever, so it's not like I'm upgrading to a brand new card that just came out. We're just reducing some power level here. Chrome Mox. Again, I feel like Chrome Mox is very powerful. Kind of belongs in CEDH to me. I don't like putting this in my casual decks anymore. This is an interesting story of how my stance has changed over time, right? Before, I don't mind putting the lower end reserve list cards in, under $100 ones, and then I didn't mind putting Chrome Mox, but I feel like Chrome Mox is powerful, and then added with Soul Ring, Mana Crypt, etc. Leads to some degenerate games. So we're just taking it out. Just add another board wipe, Blasphemous Act. So that's a full change. We're not even upgrading. We're just completely adding a different type of card. Blasphemous Act, and the last card, so we're only upgrading 6 cards, or changing out 6 cards to this deck. 4 of the mana base. Last card is Bazari Lieutenant. So as you can see, I have a bunch of knights here. And it deals with graveyard, like Hakan deals with little graveyard shenanigans. And then Elish Norn does, reanimating. Shieldred does a little reanimating. But one card that, I've never really found very useful is Olivia, Mobilized for War. She has a knight, actually a vampire knight if you didn't know. So it says whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may discard a card. So it kind of helps with reanimating, but I never really discard a card because I don't like doing it. If you do put a +1/+1 counter on that creature, it gains haste to end turn, becomes a vampire in addition to other type. Vampire, that part doesn't even matter. +1/+1 counter, it's okay. It's a knight. She's fine, but I just never really found her that useful, so I'm only swapping out one knight. This new knight, Bazir's Lieutenant, came out after I made my deck, but it's 3 and a white. Vigilance, protection from multicolor, which is very important actually. A lot of things are multicolored now. Can't be Oko'd, remember that. And then when ETBs, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. You can put on Baziri's Lieutenant if that's the only creature. And then when Baziri's Lieutenant or another creature you control dies, so if it had a +1/+1 counter, it create a 2/2 white knight creature with vigilance. So it's just a useful knight. It's not a super powerful knight. Again, I'm not going for like the most super powerful knight deck in the world. So those are just upgrades. Again, if I was playing casually, didn't have this channel, I would be like, yeah, just keep the deck the way it is. But this channel has made me build more decks than I usually build, and play with more decks. And I just feel like these types of cards don't really belong in casual decks, in my opinion. I know like people watch game nights and everything. They see these dual lands, they're like, oh my god, so powerful. I'm just like, I don't want to be like, oh, here's some dual lands, add this to your deck. Like, no, what am I doing? I can't just tell the average person to add dual lands to their deck. So it's just I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. I'm not gonna add these to my decks because I'm not gonna tell people to add them to my deck and then secretly add them to my deck like behind the scenes. No. I'm gonna do exactly what I say on screen. Just take these away. Termite Ground, sucky land. I wanted to experiment with it. It was definitely cuttable. I'm definitely cutting it. Olivia, again, I thought she'd be cool with the discard, the graveyard shenanigan themes, but it didn't turn out very well. I want things to naturally die or something. I don't want to just discard a card. I want to do like play Entomb, specifically get a card put in the graveyard rather than just discard cards. So she wasn't really pulling her weight. So Bazri is the replacement. Here needs some board wipes, so some minor changes. So let's just go through the deck real quick after these changes. I did go through the night package here. This is in order. I like to put my decks in order of type. So this is creatures here. A bunch of types: the adventure creatures, Merced Rider, Smitten Swordsmith, Orb of Midnight, Embers Shieldbreaker, Knight of the White Orchid. Get some land value there. Acclaimed Contender, Hakan. Lets you cast knights from the graveyard, and things that are knights are nameless inversion, and let's see here, where's that? Crib Swap is a knight. So I got my creatures here. Quick look. There's some creatures that give monarchy. Let's see, where are they? Custody Lich is not a knight actually. I forgot about this one almost because I don't really play it that much, but it gives you monarchy, and then when you put the mark, target player sack creature. So there's a little monarchy. Here's the Knights of the Black Rose does give monarchy here. I love the reanimation stuff too. It's fun. You got Light, Tutor, and Tomb. Again, you can entomb. Usually what you want to entomb is these two big fatties, Shieldred or Elish Norn, or if you have some knights in the on the graveyard, you want to entomb what's his name? Hakan right here. Because Hakan can only be played from the graveyard and not anywhere else, so that's why you entomb Hakan. Gamble lets you discard some things, or tutor, so it's kind of interesting to reanimate. So you do have some Knights theme. Nameless Inversion is a knight. It's a tribal instant. Target creature gets +3/-3 until end turn, becomes all creature types. So there, and then you have some of your tutors, your spells. So I just put these in order, alpha order, then CMC, so I can find them easily. That's how I usually keep my decks in order. For the deck text, I put them in specific order to show you in a more meaningful way than just CMC. Ruinous Ultimatum. This is super fun. I love casting this card. Sensei Divining Top, just to do a little filtering, and also combos with Bolus, Citadel, Mana Rocks. So you do want to cast Marchesa on turn 3. Circle of Loyalty, of course, a Night theme. This is not a super powerful deck. It's just a fun deck. I just really enjoy, and I'm not really gonna change except for those cards, taking out the dual lands and such. Knight's Charge. Now, however, Necromancy is not on the reserve list, but its Oracle text is so long it just won't fit on a card. So I think it's like pseudo reserve list where they just cannot reprint this because the text is so complicated. Smothering Tithe. Eldritch Reborn, that's pretty fun too. And then you got your mana base here. Now, things that do get worse are these check lands. Let's see. Clifftop Retreat, because you have less, because these original dual lands have basic land types. But I think I counted enough the mana. I think it's still functional. So you have those cards here. We're just going to add these cards in. Again, when we add them in, we like to do CMC and alpha. I mean, this is just how I have it. I mean, when I play it, I'll shuffle it. I like spending time reorganizing my my deck. I don't know why. It's just fun. Boswi's Lieutenant goes somewhere here. It's a 4 CMC right after Aerial. And then the mana base here. I think I need to fit the black one in there. I don't know what to take out, huh? What would you take out? Nomad Assembly? Outpost? I am really annoyed at this. This comes into play tapped. It's not as good as the Savai Triome, which can be cycled or fetched for. I don't know. Let's just do that, and then maybe we'll come back in a year, add the black Battle Bond type land in there, black and white one. All right. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video about how I just keep my deck the same, and I plan on keeping it the same, I'm just gonna do this. I'm not gonna really put this in order. I'm not gonna bore you guys with put these cards in order. I'm gonna put this back in here. I do have a bunch of decks I like to keep around. This Marchesa is one of my favorite decks. I just love Marchesa. I love getting that Monarch. Love drawing the extra card in the end of the turn. Anyway, so this is just my talk about how I sometimes things change and sometimes things stay the same. And this one's definitely with minor changes, but the whole deck theme stays the same. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell for more videos. The deck lists of both my old and new Marchesa deck in the description below, also with my TCG Player affiliate link. And as always, have a wonderful day. And sorry about this little stream of light right here. My window is just beaming light. All right, I'm out.